in that whole time. So you want the real answer?
Hmm.
Allow yourself to feel pain.
This is important for me to hear. How do you do that? I mean, this might sound like a dumb question, but I don't think it's going to sound dumb to you, because it sounds like you and I have perhaps a very similar experience. So if someone had said, just allow yourself to feel the pain, I wouldn't even know what that means. Like physical pain, sure. But to make that shift, how do you do that?
Well, let's go back. Let's pick a real example.
Okay.
So we can even pick an example. I'll let you pick the example. Where's a place recently that you felt anger?
I mean, it's a dumb example, but seeing that piece this morning, honestly, that media piece, just the easiest one.
Perfect. So now, we experience things at three different levels. We experience things as physical sensations, as emotions, and as thoughts. So when you think about what hurts you about this, because there is pain here that you're experiencing, where in your physical body do you experience a sensation?
I would say that I experience it in my throat, which is very common, lower half of my throat, and then a bit in the chest, and probably also like prefrontal skull.
So as you breathe, I want you to imagine yourself breathing into those areas. So pick one and breathe into that area. So it's just causing you to focus on that physical area and that physical sensation. And I want you to then think of the pain that this experience causes you. And I want you to share with me the thoughts that occur as you focus on that physical sensation and think about the pain and the hurt, this unfairness, this injustice, this exposing of you in a way that isn't even true in your mind. How does that hurt? Why does that hurt?
Yeah, I would say it hurts because, in some respects, Stoicism has, I think, saved my life, literally, in combination with other tools. And so it became a very valuable lifeboat of sorts at times of feeling lost or finding myself in dark places. And so I made a very deliberate decision to try to share Stoicism, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, etc., starting in the early 2000s, and then bought the audio rights to The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday, which was sort of his biggest hit that also put Stoicism on the map for a lot of people, including high performers, which then sort of created this self-propagating cycle, which then I think helped open Stoicism up to the mainstream. So he deserves, of course, a huge amount of credit to make this ancient philosophy perhaps one of the most unsexy of things in the modern world take a toehold in a way that I think has helped, not to take full credit, but maybe partial credit in driving that relentlessly for years, where it's helped so many people and saved lives. I mean, legitimately, people who are suicidal have emailed me. I feel very attached to that. I feel very proud of that. I think Ryan should as well. So when someone is clearly smart, but lazy, or maybe just deliberately misrepresenting how things happened, it's very hurtful. It's very upsetting to me. I think in part because it's such an important tool that if someone casually minimizes it as something for tech bros who have too much money and are looking for some excuse to enjoy their excess, I'm just like, no, that's completely wrong. Not only is it wrong, but I know you know it's wrong. I take it very personally, and I'm not proud of taking it personally. And I'm, once again, aware of the irony of talking about Stoicism while talking about feeling hurt by words on a screen, which is, also, I hope, reassuring to people on some level, because like Stoicism is a practice. It is not a ever-present, non-fluctuating state. It is a set of practices. So this is an opportunity to practice. But I would say unpacking that partially, at least to the extent that I can put words to it, explain the pain, right? The hurt
Yes.
that one would feel.
So here's what I'm hearing. Matt, Stoicism literally saved my life. And I wanted to share with others because I figured that I wasn't alone. And you know what? I have shared it. And I've heard from people, from many others, that's also massively improved, if not saved their lives. And there are thousands and thousands more that as this expands out will continue to experience this, and it will likely save their lives or at least improve their lives. And this article made light of all that and made it sound like you shouldn't try this, shouldn't even try it. And that's what hurts, is that I can now imagine many people who would benefit from Stoicism that won't even try it because they've read this article. And that just makes me sad. But then also, it makes it look like I've done this thing that I just did it to help people. And it makes me look like I'm a bad person for doing that. And that makes me sad that I get painted in this negative light. Is that even close?
Yeah, I would say a lot of that lands. And the piece, interestingly, was not totally anti-Stoicism. In fact, the writer claimed to be this long-term Stoic, but wanted to point out some of the downside risks of Stoicism, which I found interesting. I thought that's an article worth writing, right? What are the shadow elements if perhaps taken to an extreme or followed too literally, for example? Which I think is partially what made it sting so much, because I was like, this person thinks, they're capable of thinking, but either they didn't do enough homework or they're just looking for a sensational paragraph so that they can paint themselves on the thoughtful, positive side while putting someone as a straw man on the opposite side. Which was upsetting, right? Because it's all been done for free. He gave away 3 compilations of Seneca's writing called the Tao of Seneca as free PDFs. Anybody can find them. Like, huge project, really time consuming. In any case, but yes, I would say a lot of that lands.
Perfect. So as long as you can keep sitting with that pain, if you focus on the pain, you won't go to anger likely. But you'll notice, as you described it, the boundary was crossed. And this is where anger is valuable. Anger points out a red flag. Someone just crossed a boundary that I have. And your boundary is making Stoicism appear to be not valuable, so people don't even try it.
Yep.
And making you appear to have bad intent when you know you only have good intent. Those are 2 boundaries that just got crossed by this article. And if you then can stay feeling your pain, not feeling the anger, and if you want to open up conversation with this person, say, hey, I'd just like to chat, and share only, here's a boundary that I have. You crossed it. Here's how it impacted me. I don't know if you care or not, but if you do, then I'd love to see you do something different. And what's interesting is, Tim, that when you share your pain and a boundary that got crossed, you're never accusing. You're just saying, this is what's going on with me. And people are actually open to hearing that. But anger is you. And instantly people's brains will shut down and they won't hear a goddamn word you say. So in terms of being effective and influential in changing behavior, anger is a 0, and expressing your pain and the boundary that got crossed is larger than a 0. Has a chance at being effective. So you just did it. Now, you'd have to keep that practice going and keep, each time this happens, thinks, how does this hurt? And really say it out to yourself, say it out to someone, write it down on a piece of paper, write a poem about it. That's actually insanely effective. I don't know why. And it will prevent you from even going to anger. And it'll make you much more effective in your relationships. Now, I'm yet to start a new relationship, so I'm not the expert here. And clearly I failed in mine. But I'm hoping that this was that I will be able to test out in a new relationship how not going to anger makes it a much more harmonious relationship.
Wow. Thank you, Matt.